Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. Tap the notification bell and be the first to know when we drop a new video. Like and share with your fellow American patriots who love this country. And if you haven't even an American patriot, you are someone who believe and love freedom, love democracy, truth, and don't like corruption, hit the subscription button. Yeah, so whether or not you want to believe it, you're looking at a white man, he and his wife, and as you see, it says Trump voter shocked after ICE take his wife. So he's wondering how that happened to him, because he's white. You have to understand these people, When Trump was telling the world that, he's going to deport people, they thought that, not going to deport anyone for me because I am white. So many Trump voters are coming forward expressing regret over their decision to support him in the 2020 presidential election. But what led them to this realization, and more importantly, do they truly understand that Trump's policies have been detrimental to their own interest? Most of them don't know. So one of the most glaring disconnect between Trump's policies and the needs of his voters base is the issue of healthcare. Many Trump supporters are working class. Most of them have a third grade education. They can't think farther than their nose. And who rely on American subsidized healthcare program. Yet Trump has consistently tried to repeal the Affordable Care Act, which would leave millions without access to healthcare. This is just one example of how Trump policies have failed to address the needs of his voters. So Trump voter base is also disproportionately affected by environmental issues such as coal mining and manufacturing jobs. However, Trump's environmental policies have been catastrophic, with the rollback of regulations and the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. These decisions have not only harmed the environment but also hurt the very industries Trump claimed to be supporting. Furthermore, Trump's tax cuts have primarily benefited the wealthy, with little to no trickle-down effect on working class American. In fact, many of Trump's supporters are struggling to make ends meet, and his tax policies have only exacerbated the issues of income inequality. These people, the only thing they vote on is based on race. Trump is a white man, and Trump promotes white ideology and white racism and everything that is white. So I want to meet Bradley Bartel and Camila Muniz. Had a familiar small town love story before they collided with immigration politics. Yes. So they met through mutual friends at a first date at the local steakhouse, married after 2 years, and were saving to buy a house and have kids. Muniz has already caring for Bartel's now 12-year-old son as her own. But last month, on her way home to Wisconsin after honeymoon in Puerto Rico, an immigration agent pulled Muniz aside at the airport. So normally when you travel inland, so that for sure, say, once you travel inland in America, because Puerto Rico is a part of the United States of America, so you don't need no green card or no American citizenship for travel there. All you need is just your ID, because you're in the United States of America. So more or less you use a passport, a foreign passport to travel over there. Because she had a visa in there, but it expired. So she travel with her husband, because more or less them contact lawyer, or maybe them do it by themselves, because you understand. And then so on the way to Wisconsin, them vote for Trump over here, Wisconsin, yeah man. And so them immigration agent pulled them over at the airport and asked them, are you an American citizen? And the husband said yes. And she said no. She answered no, she wasn't. She's from Peru. But she and her husband are taking the legal steps so that one day she might get her U.S. citizenship. Yeah, so Bartel, is one of those people, millions of Americans, including Bartel, had voted for President Donald Trump. Promised to crack down on criminal illegal immigrants. But 8 weeks in, the mass deportation effort has rapidly expanded to include immigrants whose application for legal status in the country is under review. Even those married or engaged to U.S. citizens are being detained by U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement. In addition to Nunes, USA has confirmed that through attorneys, family members, and documents that ICE has detained for weeks. These are what happened, to people in America. A woman in her 50s who has lived in the United States for over 30 years is married to a US citizen. So more or less she don't have any papers because them grab her, you understand? A woman in her 30s with proof of a valid permanent legal residency, whose father and siblings are in the US and who first came to the US as a teen. So I don't know what she has done, why them detain her. A European woman in her 30s engaged to a US citizen who overstayed her visa when she was 21. So engagement and married, so they might deport her. A woman engaged to a US legal permanent resident with whom she has lived with for 9 years. So they might deport she because I don't know the more work on that because Donald Trump's system is nothing to do with that. Sympathy or compassion is a heartless system, just like capitalism. So according to USA Today review of national law enforcement records, none of these women has a criminal record. All were in an ongoing legal immigration process and felt comfortably enough to board domestic flight. Immigration agents swept each of them up at the airport checkpoints in mid-February in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So once you're in a country, you know, no papers in a country, but they go take a plane because they might grab you. You understand? Them tell you already so they don't want it in them country. Right now, if you in America, they must scrap all even black people from the Department of Defense. That's how much them hate people and they look like them. But how long it all lasts? We have seen the story before because we don't them want to believe it. By 2050, this world are gonna be brown. So look here, them fight. We should not be here now, but we're still here. Them can't. Them commit a genocide against the Indian and them recover. But look here, them kill black people. Black people still here and still fighting. Yeah, still there. We should not be here, but we're still here. So so moving on. You understand? So neither ICE nor experienced agencies. The Department of Homeland Security respond to multiple requests for comments. So you're gonna also have a thing on them, the ACLU. The ACLU them only deal with case where in national, make national headlines, so them can get headline, but them not really help black people person. Them help black people, you understand. So the ACLU them out there now I fight for a guy who come from Palestine who have him green card. And them just pick him up in commit no crime or anything like that. But America I go off into the Gestapo's thing. Just like Nazi Germany. And we know that end for Adolf Hitler in commit suicide. Cause you understand. So let's see how this is going to end now in America. So the unfortunate answer, they have to be worried. She said, if you are not a citizen of the United States and you are going through an immigration process, your first thought needs to be, how can this process be weaponized against me? David Rosa, an immigration attorney representing Nunes, agree. Anyone who isn't a legal permanent resident or a U.S. citizen is at risk, period. Bartel and Nunes wore their wedding rings for the flight home secure in the knowledge that the U.S. government knew they had applied for her green card. Although she had overstayed her original visa, they reasoned she had been vetted from the start, worked on a W-2 and paid her taxes. Before agents led her away, Nunes pulled off her wedding ring. Afraid it might get confiscated, she shoved it into her backpack and handed it to Bartel. He shook as he watched her disappear. He thought, what the F do I do? Well, hey, just go home and cry because you vote for you. All of you were one. You understand? Hey, look here. Only fools vote for con artists and you understand, and thieves. If you elect criminals, they expect the criminal to commit crime. So immigration attorneys saying overstaying a visa is considered an administrative, not criminal violation of U.S. immigration law. It can result in a bar to return into the U.S. for up to 10 years or it can be lawfully forgiven under a waiver of unlawful presence if the immigrant's spouse or immediate relative is a U.S. citizen. However, the U.S. government also has broad authority to detain immigrants even when they have application in process with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. If an individual is overstaying their visa, they are therefore an illegal immigrant residing in this country, and they are subject to deportation. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, said in January news conference, Bartel didn't see it that way. No, not when he met Muniz in the small Wisconsin town where she had worked lawfully on a temporary visa. Not after they spent months filling out the U.S. CIS paperwork to apply for her legal permanent residence. He saw her as funny, caring, hardworking woman who came legally, not one of the illegals who the president he supported promised to deport. The town where they met, Wisconsin Dells, population 2,942, draw tens of thousands of tourists each summer to a constellation of water parks, including one built as the nation's largest, Noah's Ark. Bartel grew up nearby, stayed and got a decent paying job doing maintenance in a factory. For Muniz, the Dells region was an adventure. As a college student in Peru studying human resources management, she applied and was accepted to a work study program, secured a U.S. visa, and got a job picking up towels at one of the Dells water park in 2019. When COVID-19 hit the following winter, with flights cancelled and borders closed, she couldn't get home and overstayed her visa. She stayed in the Dells packing vegetables for a local farm and working food service at hotels. Bartels gave her his number on a scrap piece of paper when they met. She threw it away, but they connected a few days later on Facebook. He invited her to dinner. Muniz teased that it's better not to be at McDonald's on their first date. They both confessed they were looking for a lasting relationship. Ramping up enforcement, ICE is under extreme pressure from the White House to ramp up enforcement. Top officials, including the newly installed acting director, were reassigned within weeks of Trump's taking office, allegedly over frustration that detentions and deportation weren't rising fast enough. The reality of immigration enforcement is that targeting convicted criminals requires time and manpower. It can take half a dozen agents to arrest a single person. An airport checkpoint like the one at San Juan Airport in mid-February can quickly round up multiple people whose immigration status may be in limbo. ICE is really widening the net in a really chilling way in terms of who they are going after, said Jesse Franzblau, Senior Policy Director, Analyst for National Immigrant Justice Center. People who generally don't fit the profile of who they picked up before are being picked up now. It took days for Bartel to find out his wife after she was detained at the airport. It was nearly a week before Muniz appeared in the ICE detention center. Her name finally turned up in an online locator. She was assigned to a privately run detention center in Louisiana. On a video call, her black curls hang askew. She wears a tan uniform reflecting her lack of a criminal record. There are nearly 80 other women in the dormitory, according to the American Immigration Council, a non-partisan research organization. The cost to taxpayers for detaining an adult is $282 per day in 2020. Bartel worried about his wife emotionally. I am concerned for her, he said. It can't be easy being trapped in a room with 100 other people. They don't have anything in there. It's just so wasteful. They keep in touch on 20 cents a minute phone calls. She worries about Bartel's sons, whether he eats well or missing her provision cooking. The money the couple saved for a down payment on a home has evaporated in attorney fees. And the savings to pay a bond for a release, if she is given that chance. They have been thinking a lot about Bartel's vote for Trump. I knew they were cracking down, he said. I guess I didn't know it was going down. Imagine the administration would target people who snuck over the border and weren't vetted. But his wife, They know who she is and where she came from. He said they need to get the vetting done and not keep these people locked up. It doesn't make sense at all. Well, boy, Brother Bartel, that's not how it works, my friend. You voted for Trump, now your wife sitting on ICE detention center. So I'm saying, you F around and now you find out. Donald Trump already told everyone who he is and what he's all about. Donald Trump don't care about anyone. All him care about himself and how to make money. Donald Trump is one of the most, we must say Donald Trump I first convicted criminal to lead a first world country in the world. That goes to show you that you people do not care about law, the rule of law. Because if you did, you would not vote for Donald Trump. Have you seen what happened? All them beat police and all of these things and kill all police. And then in partner like police murder them. So you have yourself a beautiful day. Sympathy is a crime. And you can't sorry for people who are dummies.